Hey, 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 welcome to day 2 of our Swap the Waste, Fuel the Change 5-day challenge where we're detoxing your body, your home, your mind, God's way. We're totally doing it different. Okay. Now, today for day 2, we're going to get into understanding the foundation of what it means to actually fuel your body. But we're going to do it through the Remain method. Remember, that is the method that I am teaching you personally, so that your results will actually stick, so that you will actually commit to doing your commitments and follow through. Okay. All right. So, real quick, just yesterday, I hope that you were able to see what has been draining you. Today is about helping you understand where to begin physically without all of the overwhelm. But before we get into that, you guys, I just want to reintroduce myself for those of you that are just hopping on for day 2. I'm Evelyn Tribble. I am a Latina mom. I'm a life and leadership coach, systems and automation strategist, and I'm a wellness mentor at heart. The creator of Aligned and Anchor. I help women simplify their home, their body, their business, and life by combining faith and mindset and practical strategy so that they can walk in clarity, confidence, and peace. And so I want to share why this topic is so deeply personal to me. In April of 2024, I started going to the gym because of pain that I had in my right shoulder. And that's really when I learned how important it was for women, especially for men as well. But I'm just speaking to women right now, right? Especially as we age, we were hitting the 30s, 40s, 50s, and how important it was to build lean muscle. So in October of that same year, my shoulder, just from weightlifting alone, has started to improve, but I still didn't get. I just still didn't feel good in my body. So what had happened with my shoulder back then is I would roll over and I would just have this pain. It would go numb and I couldn't even throw football with my boys anymore. It just got to be like, oh my goodness, are you serious? And it had been going on for years, but it really, really took a hold of my shoulder when I was potty training for my puppy. And I just leash training and all of that and just kind of pulled it off the socket. It was like the end of the rope. Um, so I get to physical therapy and they're like, honey, you really just need to go in there and start strengthening your back shoulder muscle. And I was like, well, how do you do that? Well, it's weightlifting. You see, what had happened was that over time, as we hit 30s, 40s, 50s, our lean muscle production actually lowers. So we do need to eat, more protein and such that, but also we need to just build back that lean muscle because our production is actually decreasing when we hit 30s. And when we hit 40s, that percentage of how much it's reducing increases. Okay. And then it increases again when we hit 50. So it was so important. I started learning all of this. And so um, I was like, wow, this is great. So October, I was weightlifting, my shoulder had improved, but I still didn't feel good in my body. You know what I'm talking about? I would look down and I started noticing that I had this stubborn belly pouch and I was like, ooh, where did that come from? Right. Well, my lean production was decreasing. I actually wasn't taking in a ton of protein. Once I started looking into my diet, I was like, oh, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and just, carbs from like plantains and potatoes, even rice and beans are carbs. It's a little bit of protein, even quinoa, right? I was eating quinoa and couscous. Like those are great carbs, but I wasn't really incorporating protein into my diet when I started looking at it and dissecting what I was really eating, right? So, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, okay, this is really not about vanity, but I just want to feel like myself again. So drop me too, if you can relate. Okay, me too. All right, so I found these bioactive peptides, okay, which we're going to talk about. They're derived from nature, they're decoded by AI, and they worked. And I just felt lighter and just more energized. But deep down inside, something was still missing. And that's where God reminded me that my worth, does not come from how I look or how I feel. It actually comes from Christ alone. So at the same time, I knew that I was called to steward my body well. So forward to April 2025, I committed to 20-minute workouts 5 days a week. I began just a simple 7-day gut reset meal plan. Okay. And you guys, the difference has been a complete 180. So if you want to feel strong, not just smaller, but strong, type strong. Okay. All right. Because that's where we're going to get into this right now. All right. So just a reminder, I did open up the 12-week experience. This is 12 weeks of group coaching that I am giving you a special app, Remain 360 app, where we're going to go into 6 different, it's actually 5 different modules. And each week has 5 videos. Okay. So you cannot take this and finish it and in any less. I said by accident 3 weeks, but I really want you to do this within 5 weeks, no less than 5 weeks. Okay. I really want you to take it, digest it as we go through that 12-week group coaching experience. Because that's where you're going to learn to implement the Remain method. Okay. All right. Just a little bit, just a few testimonials that I have here from just a couple women that I have had the privilege of working with. Renee Miller actually ended up doing private coaching with me for 12 weeks, but within 6 weeks, okay, so 6 weeks in, she was writing me this: my mind is in a good place now. I'm waking up and spending time in prayer and Bible study with my husband. I'm drinking more water. I'm sleeping better. I've been able to reframe my negative mindset. I'm cooking my meals and taking my bioactive peptides. Okay, you guys might look at this and be like, oh, well, what's the big deal here? Okay, this is a sweet lady, loves the Lord, right? But when it came to drinking water, she wasn't even doing that. Okay. She was like, wow, I don't even think I'm drinking any water. I'm definitely not putting it in. It was more sodas and coffee, right? Nothing wrong with either of those. But how do we want to fuel our body? And she began taking a look at that. And she's like, okay, these are obvious things that are draining me and draining my body. So just the fact that she even got to even drink water and then end up, she could count by the end of the 12 weeks, like she was drinking 12 or 3 of those water bottles that she's like, I don't even drink soda pops anymore. Like, oh my goodness, right? It was really cool just to see that. And then just the time, her mind, and at the beginning, when she first got started, she said, I am excited about learning how to refrain my mind with truth. And that's what really she was super excited. So within 6 weeks, she's like, my mind's in a good place. I'm waking up and I'm actually spending time in prayer, Bible study with my husband. Whoa. Okay. And then just drinking more water and just sleeping better because she was able to remain in him and learn that Remain method and implement it. So I think that that's awesome. She learned how to refrain her negative mindset, right? That's the rest. That's what I was telling you about yesterday, and gratitude. I think this is so great to speak to that because we don't want to minimize the steps forward that you make, the wins that you have, the courageous moments and decisions and choices that you make in your life. Like, we want to celebrate those. And so I want to celebrate this with her. Okay. And then this is also another good friend, Amber Till. We got to know each other through the last challenge in November. And actually, we had been in the same community, same coaching group for a few months now, but we were just starting to get to know each other a lot more as we were working through. And we're like business besties. You can see she is also a coach, and she actually has a business systems hub if you're wanting to start out from like scratch. Like she teaches you how to do all this stuff. So great, amazing coach. But what she said was so powerful. We hop on a clarity call, right? And she said this: I am so grateful that I said yes after my discovery call with Evelyn. From the very first conversation, I felt seen, I felt grounded, and just gently guided instead of pushed. There was a calm confidence in the way that she listened, and she reflected back what mattered most to me. That is so awesome, right? And that's my prayer, right? It felt like being led back to what I truly want in my relationship with God, my family, my friends, and in my work. That is why I joined her 12-week Remain experience with group coaching and the Remain app. Evelyn does not just teach a method. You can feel her heart in everything that she does, and enrolling felt like a peaceful, aligned yes, right? She's an amazing coach. She has her own business, right? Like, she has her own story, her own strengths, her own skills. She is what I call a high achiever. So is Renee Miller, right? She works in corporate. But what was missing is just exactly what she felt like she needed. She was in that clarity call, she was able to be led back into what she truly wanted with her relationship with God, with her relationship with family, with her relationship with friends, and in her work. And so she was like, yes, this 12-week Remain experience, this is what I need, because it doesn't just teach me a method, it actually helps me to implement. So that's the power of coaching and support and accountability, and why I'm even offering that to you. All right. Now, let's get into the leaderboard really quick, and then we're going to go into the subject because this is powerful today, you guys. Just real quick, I want to just note that Jessica Francisco and Nikki Hall, Yvonne Polito, you guys, these are our top 3 in the leaderboard right now. Jessica is up at 120 points. Nikki is 110. Yvonne's 110. Denise and Julie, Roberta, like they're all following. And this was as of 10 o'clock this morning. So if you have watched the replay and I haven't answered to you yet, then you're not yet on the leaderboard. So just watch out for the email. This will get updated. You'll see what your points are. Okay. So the email will go out this evening. So will this replay. Just as a reminder, the number 1 is going to win the bioactive peptides. You guys, if you want to know a little bit more about bioactive peptides, I want you to drop the word understand. Understand peptides. Okay, just put understand peptides. I'm going to send you an actual webinar. It was, I don't know, it was probably about 20 minutes long or something. Maybe it was 40. Okay. But it helps you to understand the peptides and how you can incorporate it into a health plan for your life this year if you want. And it does offer you my referral link in there if you're wanting to understand them better and how they work. Okay. But that is the number 1 prize. You get to choose which one you want. We might end up doing just electrolytes. Sometimes that's all you need, right, to add to your water and make sure that you're well hydrated. Honestly, your body cannot process even the protein that you eat and the nutrients that you're taking without sufficient hydration. Okay. The second win, you're going to win the household Norwex package, which is 3 things that you guys can replace completely. The things, virtually every cleaner underneath your kitchen sink. Promise. We'll talk about that on the 3rd day. All right. And then the 3rd will, of course, win the clarity call with me. But you guys, I do want to offer that and open that up. If I'm reaching out to you on a personal level, and I'm providing this clarity call, I just want you to, consider it and be open to it. because they're amazing calls, like what Amber, recognized for her. So, okay. And just a reminder here, I'm not going to go through all of this. It'll be in the email, but just how to get points. Don't forget though, you guys, to actually go and get your workbook. Okay. Let's see, where is it? And post it, because that gets you some more points on there. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. Okay. Why does this workshop matter? Why does it matter? Okay, well, here's the deal. This workshop matters more than ever because both women and men are realizing that mental clarity doesn't last without physical support. It just doesn't last without physical support. Okay, so you can do all the mindset work that we talked about yesterday, even remaining in Him, prayer, journal, setting your intentions. Okay, that is going to be your number one step to the Remain method, is remaining in Him. You can do all of that. But if your body is depleted, inflamed, or overloaded, you guys, your energy will always hit a ceiling. That is anatomy. Okay, that's just anatomy. So, but if you've ever said, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it, type stuck. Okay, type stuck, because I'm curious about this. This workshop matters because your body is just not separate from your faith. It is God's word even said, take care of the temple, right? Your body is like the temple. So where you put your focus, or how you follow through with your commitments, those are all go hand in hand with faith. Faith without works is dead. You have to put action to your faith. That's why we're talking about this. When your body is supported, alignment becomes sustainable. Okay? So that's why it's important that we get into this topic today, okay? All right. So what you're going to learn is 3 things today. We're going to learn 3 things today, okay? First thing, let's see. It's on here. I'm like, where's my notes? Okay, so first thing is why so many high-performing women feel exhausted. We're going to understand why they're feeling bloated, why they're feeling foggy, why they're feeling inconsistent, how living in stress, sugar, and survival mode quietly traps your energy and keeps your body stuck in burnout. If you're like, yeah, that's me, I am totally feeling a bloated, type bloated. If you're feeling foggy, type foggy. If you're feeling like, oh my goodness, in survival mode, or type survival mode. Okay. All right. So we're going to go into that. The second thing we're going to go into is the gut energy connection. Okay. So how your gut acts as the command center for your mood, your immune system, your energy, and then why inflammation or overload makes everything feel so much harder than it needs to be. Okay. So who's curious about your gut energy connection? Like, who is that? Right? Put that in the comments. And then I'm also going to go through 3 simple steps to reset your fuel. All right. So for your body, how to move from running on empty to fueling your body with purpose, so that energy, clarity, and consistent can become not something that you have to force, or just like, oh, I got to do my exercise. Okay. As a reminder, we went through the Remain method yesterday: rooted, evaluate, minimize, align, implement, nurture. Now we're going to take this and we're going to, let's see, we're going to bring this into your body. Okay. Everything that we're going to talk about. And I'm going to show you how this actually can be done for your body as well. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Before we get into it, a little bit on statistics. Okay. So I went out and I invited 190 people, women, to participate in this survey. And I asked them, I was like, hey, would you want to participate in this quick survey that I'm doing for research? And they're like, yeah. 85 rose their hand and they're like, yes, 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 absolutely. So I sent them this question. I said, if you could shift one area of your life, home, body, mind, or purpose, which one would make the biggest difference? Okay. 62 came back and actually responded. And from those 62, here's how it broke down. The top was 30% body. Body. They chose, if I could, okay, if I could, they said, if I could shift my body in my life, okay, this area, then this would make the biggest difference. 30%, that's more than anybody else. Mine came right after it. That's why we talked about it yesterday. Okay, but it's actually the foundation, right? Okay, of that 30%, here's what they meant. I have no energy left for my family. So at the end of the day, I'm like running, running, running. I have no energy left for my family. Or I just keep gaining weight. Like this is what they meant. Okay. Or I'm exhausted. Or I just want to feel strong again. Or they meant I live in this fight or flight. Okay. Like I'm just constantly eating, fighting it and actually not doing it, or I'm just running away and avoiding it altogether. Okay. Or they meant I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. Others dealt with some autoimmune diseases. I do. I have this autoimmune thing that hit me, got triggered, once my hormones started changing around the 30s. I've never been allergic to anything. All of a sudden, I'm allergic to eggs. Okay. I've eaten eggs all my life until this thing happened, right? Something had triggered my body. So this is happening. All right. So what we're learning here is different symptoms, same root. And that's this boiling pot. So let me show you what I see happening all the time. Okay. And we talk about this in the Remain method, in the Remain 360 app. It's all in there. That's actually part of one of the videos for week 1. Okay. So let me show you what I see happening all the time. Imagine a pot of water boiling on the stove, just like this. Okay. And let's just say that I would put a lid on it and just leave it there. What's going to happen? Tell me in the comments. What will happen if I put a lid on this boiling pot of water? Exactly. The pressure builds and eventually the water is going to spill over, right? So different symptoms, same root. So if pressure has been spilling out as irritability, or maybe you're feeling fatigued, or you're having food cravings, or just snapping at your loved ones, right? The people that you love, drop pressure in the comments. Drop pressure in the comments. And here's the truth that I want you to hear today. Your energy isn't gone. It's just trapped. It's just trapped. So let me just show you this real quick. Okay. Just take a look at this, right? That's what we were imagining. We put the lid on it. The water is going to start spilling over. It could be stress, sugar, survival mode. Your energy isn't gone. It's just trapped. Okay. All right. Now let me show you. Here's 3 signs that your energy is trapped. Okay. Because here's the deal. Here's the connection between your gut and your energy. Okay. So your gut is like the command center. So, where did it go? Let me see. Hold on just a minute. I don't know. It's not there. Oh, okay. Well, I did not put that slide on there for whatever reason. I kind of missed it. Yep. Okay. Well, forget that slide. But somehow it didn't make it into my slide. So that's all right. But here's what I want you to know. Okay. So your gut is your command center of the body. Okay. So what it does, it's going to impact your mood. It's going to impact your immune system. So write this down: gut and an energy connection. Okay. In your workbook, somewhere around there in your notes section. I think it's like the last page. Okay. Gut energy connection. The command center is your gut. Your gut is going to impact your mood, your immune system, your energy, and also mental clarity. So that explains why, you could feel foggy sometimes. Like, what in the world? So when your gut is inflamed or when it's overloaded, everything just feels harder than it needs to be. Everything will feel harder than it needs to be. So if you deal with bloating, like either bloating, brain fog, or afternoon crashes, type gut. Type gut. So this is exactly why the quick fixes don't work. The body just doesn't feel safe because it's just a quick fix, right? It's like, oh, I'm not going to get this again. So it goes into like panic mode, right? Sugar, like, oh, this is going to drop. So I need to just consume more of it, right? And it'll just trigger that. So now to this slide, here's 3 signs that your energy might be trapped. Okay. So see if any of these resonate with you as you're kind of reading through this. Are you tired but wired? Do you know what I'm talking about? You go to bed, right? It's time to go to bed. You know that it's time to shut things down, but there's all these open tabs in your brain. You're exhausted, yes, a long day, right? But you're anxious at night. There's all these tabs open. Okay. Or what about this one? Your body feels inflamed or heavy. Like it just feels inflamed and heavy. Inflamed, I mean like bloated, right? Like it's not you. Like you've seen pictures of you where this is not normal. Or what about this? Does it resonate with you? You know what to do, but consistency just feels impossible. Like it just feels impossible, right? So if you see yourself here, type seen, because I want you to know. I want you to feel seen and heard. And hear me. This is not a character flaw. This is not by any means anything that speaks of you in a negative way. I just want you to feel seen. So just comment seen. Because the reality is it's just a fuel issue, right? It's how we're fueling our body. It's what are we feeding it? What are we fueling it right, with? Okay, so that's the good news, all right? Okay, so here's the remain method in a different way that I'm gonna bring this for you. And this one's actually gonna be a shorter a shorter recording and replay for you guys. So not to worry. I think this will help you throughout the week, okay? Okay, so here's the 3-step fuel reset. This is the remain way, okay? This is what I teach in the remain method. We're going to make this super practical for you because honestly, I'm not here to tell you to go overhaul your life. That's not what we want. I'm just here to help you get clear on where to begin because that's what we want. You're like, okay, well, where do I begin? Okay, well, here you go. All right. Here's your $30,000, $50,000 coaching right here. Okay. Step 1. Do you see the RE? Okay. That stands for rooted and evaluate. So step 1, first we want to stabilize before we optimize. Okay. So what does that mean? We're going to root our identity in stewardship, not self-criticism. Stewardship is what has God given to me to take care of. One of them is your body. Another one is your mind, right? Another of them is your home. If you're a mom or you have loved ones that you care for at home. So I know I'm caring for, my mama. So if you care for parents or children, right? You have a home that you're caring for as well, right? Or pets, okay? Your spouse, your children, okay? Family. So what has God given you to steward, to take care of here on earth? Because we have to make sure that you are rooted in Him and you know who you are, whose you are, who you belong to, right? Whose child you are, the child of the living King, the living God, the King of all kings and the Lord of lords. If you have made Him Lord of your life, which on day 5 I'll share with you a simple ABC method if you're just not sure, okay? But if you have made Him Lord of your life, guess what? You're His. And we have to make sure that you feel so confident that you are 100% sure, right? That you are rooted in Him, because He is going to be the one that helps you to make sure that you store the rest of the areas that God's given you, right? Or the people, right? So, not self criticism. That's why we talked about a lot on self criticism yesterday. And that thought model would help you to identify what those negative self criticism thoughts might be or where it's beginning, right? So, this is so huge. The R and E, the rooted and evaluate, we evaluate what's draining my energy. Is it stress? Is it sugar? Is it skipping meals? Is it mental pressure? As a matter of fact, your homework today, you're going to look at the page that says detoxing the body. We're going to ask you, how does my body currently feel? I want you to really get connected with how your body feels, okay? Close your eyes if you have to. Write it down. Number 2, what does fueling well look like to me? Okay, because these are reflection questions. I want you to think through that and really, really, really hone in on that. Number 3, it's what's one area of nutrition or wellness that I want to improve? Okay, and again, we're doing this with no judgment whatsoever. Okay, so type aware if this feels like a shift for you. Just doing this assignment. Like, type aware if you're like, yes, I want to do this. This is a shift I need to make. Okay. And that's your number 1 step. Okay. All right. Step number 2, M, for minimize. This is where the lid is going to come off that pot. I'm going to teach you how to take off that lid. And that's what we do in, through that 12-week experience, right? We actually do it together. We identify what are those roadblocks that are keeping you from doing that, right? Because sometimes we need that. But this might just be all you need is your step 2. How do I actually take off the lid? Okay. So we're going to reduce what inflames you. It could be constant stress, and you're like, oh, well, I can't really fix my job because, that is what pays the bills and I can't really do anything about it. So that right there is constant stress. Okay. That thought about your job is what is inflaming you, and that you can control. That thought, right? That dominant thought about your job is what you can control, because that might be what is inflaming you. Okay. All right. What about quick fix foods or just reactive habits? And this is what we call emotional eating. Okay. Or, you're stressed out, something triggers it, and you're going for that quick fix or sugar cravings. Those are what we're talking about. Okay. We're going to reduce that inflammation. That might be what is inflaming you. All right. So just minimize. This is where the lid can come off. We're going to replace the pressure with gratitude and nourishment. So gratitude. So let's say it's constant stress because of the thoughts that you're carrying about your job or financial pressures or, family situations that are going on. Hold on just a minute. I have my little heater here and it's getting hot. I'm like, the sun is shining. Okay. All right. So how can we implement gratitude so that you can start seeing the goodness, God's goodness, when it comes to work, when it comes to family relationships, things that are going on with your family, the finances that are happening. So we're going to implement gratitude in that, start seeing God's goodness, again, halfway full versus halfway empty. Okay. And then nourishment. Instead of those quick foods, what can I place in front of? Can I get rid of those snacks that are just like easy to get to? And can I replace it with something that's nourishing? Like apples are so good for you. Bananas, fruit, just putting that down. If you like something crunchy, carrots and a cheese stick, right? Because protein is so important. You want to pair those together. So do you see what I'm saying? Is replacing that pressure. That's how you lift the lid. That's how you start lifting the lid, practically speaking. So if you're ready to stop forcing and start supporting your body, type reset, okay, in the comments, because that's what we want. All right, step 3. Here's your step 3, $30,000, you guys. I'm giving this to you. Okay. Step 3 is AIN, align, implement, nurture. When it comes to your body, we're going to align the body with simple rhythms. So these are rhythms, these are sustainable things that you start to do and implement on a daily basis so that it becomes sustainable and not just this overhaul. For Renee Miller, remember the story with Renee Miller? She had to begin with hydration. She was taking a look at what she was drinking and fueling her body just in fluids alone, coffee and sodas, right? Coffee, as she was thinking about it, it's not like she was getting a headache. It was whenever she would think about it, she'd go to the coffee. Sodas was another one. It was like a craving. So she took that soda out and she was able to put a water bottle there, replacing it with hydration. So that's why the electrolytes are so important, right? Sometimes your body could just be completely depleted. If you're having headaches, experiencing headaches, that's a huge sign. Fogginess, fatigue, that's a huge sign of dehydration. Okay. Protein. So I had take a look at my salads and I just had fruits and vegetables alone and like cheese and croutons and almonds and toppings like that. But there was no protein. So I started adding chicken to it, right? So maybe that's a simple rhythm that you could do, right? Another one is digestive support. So when you wake up in the morning, it's important to have a protein, something protein when you just even in the first 5-10 minutes, even before your coffee, you guys, before your coffee, before any caffeine. Okay. So one thing that I love to do, my husband loves a yogurt. That's a little, it could be, that's more sugars in your yogurt. But there is that protein and he likes it because it's got probiotics. I like to do a cheese stick with a banana, half a banana. Um, and cheese sticks, I noticed that they're not that much more calories, but a slice of deli cheese is. So I started coupling that, and that was just enough. Another thing you could do is energy balls. You take some raw, uncooked, oatmeal, oatmeal, old fashioned oatmeal, and mix it up with some honey and maybe peanut butter or almond butter if you have a peanut allergy, and put a little scoop of protein powder, your favorite. We use Juice Plus, okay? Mix it up, make it into a ball. It's an energy ball. Have that in the morning, right? So just nourishing your body, okay, to give you that digestive support. It's the best thing that you could do to wake up your gut. And it's so much better because sometimes when it drops, that's when you start adding these. Oh, and then bioactive peptides, okay? One of the ones that I like that I take every morning is lean, okay? This is going to help minimize my cravings throughout the day. So me going through this has been so helpful. This also breaks down the visceral fat all over your body, but is specific to the mid area. So that's where you'll notice the inflammation decreasing right off the bat. I noticed it within 10 days. I was like, okay, I'm still weighed the same, but somehow I feel so much lighter. And it was this area, it was the inflammation that was happening there. Okay. My jeans felt looser. Like it was just weird. It was weird. I was like, oh, goodness. Okay. That takes that visceral fat, it breaks it down, and it uses it as energy. As energy. How about that? That's awesome, right? Another one that I like to take is lean. Okay. So lean is the one that helps me build a lean muscle, right? So I'm still doing my workouts, but that is AI directed. And it's like, ooh, she is working out. We need to help support her, like build that lean muscle right there where she's working out. Okay. So I take that after my workouts, right? I like to mix it with electrolytes. That has replaced my drinking tea. I used to be drinking tea all the time. Like that replaces my tea. So I don't even feel like I need to have it, right? So you can implement small daily habits, not drastic resets, right? And then when we nurture long term energy by supporting the gut, the hormones, and recovery, like that's a big win. That's when you start dipping into sustainable energy, and it's so much better than having to go to the doctor and get medication or prescriptions, right? For after for taking care of your body after, right? After, oh my goodness, like arthritis, I can't imagine, or a hip replacement, or like all those pains that come from just what if we were to steward our bodies now, right? Okay. All right. So if this is resonating with you, type sustain and you're like, yes, step 3, that's where I'm at. Sustain. I'm totally implementing this, right? Okay. So that's it. That is the $30,000 3-step. And you guys, I'm here at the 40-minute mark. So I just want to say this gently and clearly. For some of you, what you're learning in this challenge will be enough to help you get started. And that is a win. Like, that is a win. I'm so excited. Okay. But I also know that some of you are thinking, okay, I see this problem. Okay. I don't know how to walk this out though consistently. So I just want you to hear my heart. My intention is not to sell you something that you don't need. Okay. My intention is actually to help you get clear on where to begin. So if I feel like my 12-week Remain experience would genuinely support you, I'll share what that could look like. I'll bring that up. Okay. But if not, I will still help guide you in a helpful direction, like what might be your next step. And only you could identify that, right? I just ask the questions to help you get there. So if you feel like you'd benefit from walking this out with support, body, mind, and home, then I'd like to invite you to book a clarity call with me, just like Amber Till did, okay? No pressure, no obligation, just clarity. And if you want that link, actually just, we'll message back and forth, but comment clarity. And we can start there. Just comment clarity. We can start there. All right. So today was about understanding your body, not judging it. Tomorrow, we're going to move into home improvement, because you guys, clutter, toxins, chaos, they also block peace and clarity. And just a reminder to put down peptides if you are like, oh, I want to understand these bioactive peptides a little bit more. I'll send you my video, my webinar that I did, I think it was like last week or the week before, about the peptides. And it's about 20 or 40 minutes long. And at the end, it has my referral link if you're just like, okay, I totally want to do these bioactive peptides, okay? And it'll just lead you to that. So just drop bioactive peptides, even if you're just curious about them and wanting to understand them a little bit more and how you might incorporate them into your body, okay? Into your health plan this year. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.